How are you feeling?
I'm fine.
You thinking about taking him back?
No. This is mine?
It's yours. Do you remember everything he said to you?
Karen,
What? We need to balance out all this beautiful.
she gets it.
Okay, well, as long as she ain't forget.
Okay, Sisters fans, now don't let the title trigger you. I know there's some Karen fans like, no, Karen ain't jealous, but I rewatched the scenes of this week's episode, mainly the ones between Karen and Andy when they were alone in the empty apartment for a bulk of the episode, which was ridiculous in itself. But then when they eventually went to the penthouse, you know, and we got Andy's reaction as well as Karen's reaction. Now, at first glance, you know, honestly, I felt like Karen was a bit jealous of Andy, just given the fact that her ex was just showering her with these lavish gifts, you know, from the penthouse, the Rolls Royce and whatnot. And, you know, while Danny and Sabrina are like living it up in this penthouse like they live there, was like, hey, well, you know what, forget going to the clubs and whatnot, we'll just come over to Andy's new place, you know, we'll have a good time. But, you know, while everybody is you know, loving the new set, think of it this way. In the apartment, I think Karen was legitimately trying to see how Andy was holding up, because she knows her friend. You know, Andy wasn't even confidently saying, you know, I'm not taking him back, because Karen's like, are you okay? I'm fine. Are you thinking about taking him back? No. And you could tell how unconvinced she sounded. So when they actually go up to the penthouse, I feel like it wasn't just Karen being curious, but it was kind of that test to see, you know what, you know, he's throwing a lot of stuff at you that he knows you'll like, but the question is, can you fight the temptation? So I feel like Karen took Andy up there because, you know, she wanted to see if this test would be the way to determine if she would take him back. So when they get off the elevator, at first I'm like, you know, man, look at Karen's face walking through the penthouse, just like, is she really hating? But then when I really thought about it, not as a Tima fan, not as a Karen hater, looking at the scene again, it wasn't the penthouse. It was the fact that Karen was non-verbally responding to the way Andy was reacting to the penthouse. And she knew, yep, she's falling for this bullshit. So when they are getting in the bedroom and they see the mural and Andy has just lost her mind, she's like, oh my God, it's from my favorite movie. And then Karen's like, well, do you remember everything, even the bad stuff? And then Sabrina's like, Karen, she gets it. Sabrina, that's the one thing I don't like about this girls group. It's like anytime somebody's speaking truth, somebody tries to shut them up. And then when somebody, let's say Sabrina tells Karen to stop, but then Sabrina tells Andy what Karen said, all of a sudden, yeah, you're right. But it's like, wait, I said that 5 episodes ago, but I was wrong. Just like in the next episode when Danny asked if Karen's going to keep the baby. That's a legitimate question. I just feel like part of me is also a bit, you know, giving Karen the side eye, because she's telling Andy to remember everything to balance out the good and bad. Yet Danny tried to tell your ass the same thing in season 3 when, you know, Karen and Zach were over at Danny's place, because she needed to hear it from his, you know, mouth without being, you know, angry that, you know, she is, you know, he's done with her so she can move on. And Danny's like, Karen, remember the bad stuff, the stuff he put you through, not just the good. Well, we had 3 years. And it's like anytime one of the girls tries to tell Karen about Zach, she's like, well, it's different than me and Zach than any of y'all, because we had 3 years of a relationship. So anytime, yeah, Karen, these women are all alike. They can call out other people on their faults and their BS, but when somebody tries to rightfully call them out for something, they don't want to hear it. For Karen, it's like, hey, I have a 3-year relationship unlike you, so it ain't the same. Or Danny just refuses to look at her faults when Preston brings up, you know, her flaws in their relationship dynamic. Andy just, you know, will roll her eyes and go try to find somebody to blindly validate the way she feels. Sabrina, well, does she really admit to her faults? Because her sisters are the ones who are, you know, her mouthpiece is according to Calvin, so it's not like she really thinks for herself, but that's really how these girls operate. So for me personally, part of me feels like Karen might wish that Zach was doing the same thing for her, trying to buy her all this lavish stuff. And, you know, she shouldn't be quick to tell Andy not to get back together with Gary, given the fact that she knows good and well if Zach just simply asked her if she wanted to get back together, she would just say yes in a heartbeat. Not to mention the fact that it's funny how Gary bought Andy a penthouse, yet Zach bought a new house and didn't even want Karen to go on the inside. And I'm still waiting for the moment that she finds out that Fatima, Andy, and Gary have all stepped foot into Zach's house before she even got the chance to. That would be hilarious. So that's really all I wanted to say in the video. Yeah, I'm going a little bit easier on Karen than I did in my review and in the live stream, because while it did seem like she was indeed jealous, it just makes you wonder that, well, nah, maybe that's not the main reason she just had a sour face whenever they were walking through the penthouse. I think it's because she was realizing that strength that Andy was showcasing was just nothing more than a facade, and the fact that Gary just blew her away with the penthouse, not to mention the tablet that has the play me message on it, you know, that's probably going to make her go, you know what, Gary, I will take you back. So let me know what you think. Do you think Karen is a hater? Do you think she was actually just trying to look out for her friend? Let me know in the comment section below. As always, hit the thumbs up button to show you like the video. Hit subscribe and hit the bell icon and select all. That way you don't miss out whenever I post content on the channel. If you have been subscribed but notifications aren't coming through, you may need to unsubscribe and hit subscribe again for it to work. Follow me on social media, links are in the description. And if you would like to donate to the channel, feel free to do so on PayPal or Cash App.